Y'all, it is a special edition, and I was just reminding her of number eight. I can't, can you, 8 years. Last year, of course, number seven. This is number eight. And this is a special edition of This is the G podcast. We do it every year. It's also going to be on What You Watch and Tommy B because I need some people to go there. Okay, so don't ask why. Okay, but Spicy Dicey Grinner's top 10 countdown, man, it's a staple here, and we're just glad to have her back. Hey, what's up, Dicey? How you doing?
Hey, and thanks for having me back. I love coming on your show and I love talking horror, so let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. So let's just jump right into it. For those who haven't seen us before, first time checking it out, it's a top 10. We start with number 10 and we go to number one. So it's a countdown. So go ahead, Dicey. I'm throw it to you for number 10. What you got?
Okay, first off, let me just say I have not seen The Black Phone yet. Okay, so it won't be on my list just because I haven't seen it. I'm going to see it tomorrow, so take that with a grain of salt. All right, so the last one on my list is Him, Him. This is with Marlon Wayans and Steve Tyler fellow. They do such an outstanding performance. It is so intense, and it hits on a lot of different topics. So this is one of those, if you are going into it expecting it to be scary, you're going to be disappointed. And so I try to let people know that, okay? I watch a lot of films. So I'm not expecting it to be anything but entertaining, good, maybe educational, and it's all of that with some great performances. There's some comedy. There's a lot of symbolism in this one, okay? So it is horror, okay? If you watched Get Out and you understand a lot of the symbolism related to a lot of the horror that's in that psychological horror, then you should be able to get him, okay? If you detected the cotton picking on the couch and Get Out, then you should be able to understand the symbolism that's in him. So I'm not understanding what people aren't getting about that. It is very polarizing. Some people really love it, some people don't. I say go watch this because I feel like it's touching on a lot of deep elements. You just got to go deeper. Don't just look at the surface. So I like it when movies are portraying a whole lot more than what you're expecting. It's a lot more involved than just surface level entertainment. There's so much going on in this film. It takes us through a lot of different areas. There's a lot. It's a journey, and the ending is a little bit different than I expected, but I do like that it's kind of unpredictable. From one moment to the next, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Why do
And
you think the critics have been so hard on this movie?
I think they've been hard because, once again, I think they go into it expecting something and they're getting something else. So we know there are horrors related to playing football. We know about them getting concussions and stuff like that. So that's a horror element. But then also there's the how far are you willing to take it
Yeah.
to earn and to achieve your goals? Like, how much are you willing to do? What are you willing to sacrifice to be number one and to be the best? And I think anybody that is really, really driven can see the horrors of that. Like, you go into it, it could be very inspiring, but there's a dark side to being so driven and ambitious. Like, where's the limit? Is there a limit? Should there be a limit? So it makes you think. But I really think the controversy has come from them seeing the trailers, seeing the intensity, and then going in and seeing something different. If you go into it expecting it to be a real life psychological horror, not with jump scares, then I feel like you can enjoy the experience.
So let me ask you: was Marlon Wayans believable?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you, I love Marlon. I love Marlon because I feel like I love people who are multi-talented, multifaceted. I happen to be one. So I love that I have gone to his comedy shows here at the Improv, and I feel like he is entertaining from a comedic sense, but also, we saw Requiem for a Dream. We know that he has some range. He can really go into some dark and intense places. Plus, physically fit. I feel like he is really showing like both sides of all sides of himself in this film. I feel like he has given it all he's got, and I love that.
Okay, number 10, him. I had taken it off my list, but it is now back on the list. Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, it is like I said, just be prepared. You know, don't go into it think like we've got movies that do the slasher. We have like
Yeah.
you see right here, I got Terrifier right here, okay? We have that. There's room for the Jason and the Mike Myers and the Freddys. But we got to make room for things that are a little different as well. And so I'm happy when there's something that's different, and that's what I got from this one.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, what you got at number 9? What you got?
All right. All right. Number nine, Clown in a Cornfield. Clown in a Cornfield, I will say that I love that Adam Cesare, who was here at Houston Horror Film Fest this year, I love to see when someone is writing something a little different and they and their the film, of course, he's not making money off of that, but his literature, his book is blowing up. You know, more people are coming out reading the book because of the movie. The movie is doing well. I happen to be somebody who loves clowns. I love clown movies. I love clown stories. I love clown people who are actually like putting on the makeup and being involved in the tomfoolery that comes with being a clown. I feel like being a clown is it's very performative. Like they aren't just terrifying. Like people, if you can get past the mask element, which is kind of scary in and of itself,
Right.
there is a level of humor that's involved, and I really love dark humor. So I love this, but also there's some twists and turns that are happening in this film that I like. I like when there's some surprises. You know, if you're paying attention, you know some of the surprises. You know who the bad guys really are and all that. But I feel like they do something a little different with it. It's okay. Being in a cornfield is just scary. Okay, there's
Yes.
an element to it when we're talking about being in the dark and being surrounded by vegetation that's this high and you can't see that far or that far. That's scary. So
Yeah,
I
you know,
love
I
that they
think
did
I
that.
think Stephen King and I think Jeepers Creepers. So yeah,
Ah. Yeah, Jeepers Creepers. I'm not a fan of him per se,
yeah,
the
yeah.
actual monster itself, but yes, I do love when there's that dark element and the hidden like if you can't see very far in front of you and you don't know what's happening, that's always going to scare me. Yeah.
Okay, so number 9. By the way, where is that now? Clown in a cornfield. Is it in theaters or where can you find it right now?
Oh, that's a good question. Let me pull up IMDb real fast. Clown and Corn. I saw it in the theater, so and I probably saw it opening night. You can now see it on AMC or you can buy it with Prime. You can buy it on Prime.
Okay, cool. So it's on Prime or yeah, probably just go to Prime. You'll see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. What you got at
Because
number 8? Go ahead.
it looks like the AMC channel is linked to Prime, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so number 8 is Until Dawn. Now, Until Dawn is one that I just kind of sat down and watched on a whim on Netflix. So I didn't see that in the theater. I saw it in my own home theater. I'm in my home theater room right here now, and I once now the spoiler alert for this because you need to know why I find it horrific. Anything having to do with a loop is terrifying to me. If there is a loop, the Berserk, okay, and I even wrote a story called the Diabolical Puzzle. It was based on that because of the loop. One day I was sitting up there thinking, I was like, God, that is really scary.
Now explain the loop.
Okay, so when you start out, you're going in, okay, these people happen to go into some kind of dimension area where they're replaying the same scary scenario
Uh,
over and over and over again, and you can't get out of it. You keep dying, you keep dying, you keep dying, and it gets worse and worse and worse every time. So you got to figure out how to get out of this loop. But first, you gotta know you're in the loop. You know what I mean? Because if
correct.
it keeps happening, you just keep repeating, keep repeating. But something has to trigger the thought, like, "Hey, wait a minute, didn't we do this, or what's happening?" So that's scary to me. The idea, even the idea, some people believe that we're kind of on a loop with life. That is scary. Like, oh my God, get me off this loop. Like, where does the loop end? Or if we're constantly repeating things, if we are uh, forever spiritual beings that are forever entities, At what point are we re-looping? Like, that just bothers me. So there are some monsters in this film that's very, very scary. Also, there are some jump scares, but there are some things that have me hollering. I was laughing so hard, and I always love that. There are kind of some surprises where blood and guts is just boom out of the blue, and I like that. It's really, really dark, but I believe the way it ends is the way that it needs to end because of all the darkness. So I like the journey that it takes me on.
Okay, give us the number and the name one more time.
Okay, that one is Until Dawn. I believe I have that at number 8.
Excellent. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. And I'm
All
going to
right.
ask you at number 5. When we get to number 5, we're going to recap them real quick. But go ahead and do number 7. What you got?
Okay, number 7. And I had him flipped by accident on my list. Sorry if you hear my dog barking back there. He's a German Shepherd and he's protecting the house.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, for number 7, I'm gonna say Together. Now this one, Tommy. Oh, you've seen it.
I've not seen it, but I know of it. That's the body
Yes,
horror. Yes.
yes. Okay, and I got to tell people about this one because I feel like this one is getting buried under the haze of horror. Okay, this is a really, really good film. Sorry, I keep dropping my phone.
That's
This
cool.
is a really good film that I want more people to know about because it's body horror, and they do such in I love things that are intense and that have really great storylines. This is one of them. Okay, I have a sex and horror podcast. We're into our 7th season. This is just perfect for that. It's sex and horror. There is a sex scene in there that I was like, oh my God. Like, they are blending. Okay, so just a little bit about what it's actually about. This couple, they obviously have some tension. Things are not going great. Okay, there's some things that's not right. And for whatever reason, they decide they're going to move. I know the reason, but I mean, and here, I don't feel like the reason is strong enough to make a movie off of. But we would not have a horror genre if people didn't do dumb shit. So
True.
here, they they are here. They decide to isolate themselves and move out to somewhere, and they're starting over fresh, just the two of them. And at some point, they come across something that is ritualistic. And we don't know what that ritual is until much later. Although, if you're somebody who watches a lot of films and you're into this genre, you know that there's some things happening. You kind of figure it out, right? So, but their body is starting to merge into one. And they cannot, he is having a physical reaction anytime he tries to move away from her. He is drawn to her like a magnet. They are meshing together as one. Okay, when you find out why and what the ritual is and all that, I love that element of the story. But where they go from there is what is so beautiful to me. Now, the reason I love sex and horror itself as a genre is because of the layer of, I go back and forth between writing dark erotic romance and horror, and spicy horror and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
Because I love the element, the beauty of love as well. I know, shocking, I'm a lover girl. But there's this element of them being so fiercely in love, but they don't even really know it because I told you they had that tension in the beginning. And so this thing that's happening to them kind of makes them take a step back and think about what's important. Like, they are important to each other. And at the moment that I think they're going to go one way and sacrifice the other to save themselves, they actually decide to go together, to become one. It's such a beautiful, magnificent ending to me that I was like, yes, more people need to know this, especially if you love sex and horror together and love and horror together. It doesn't have to always end on a bad note, although I love it when the villain wins and there's a bad note too. And this technically is a bad note, but it's still
Yeah, I'll
it's
leave it at that because we don't want to spoil it too much. But
yeah.
I saw this and I'd heard it got buried the week it was released because there was so much going on. But remind me of the star of it, the male star. I'm trying because quite frankly, and I'll tell you at number 5 when we get there, number 5. But this year, I'm really depending on you because I have not seen much horror because I cover politics. So politics has been the horror for us this year. So, but I'll leave that alone. Okay. But I really, this is a good week. This is this is a good show for me because I really have a lot of catching up to do. You say Falco? What's his name?
Franco. This is one of the Franco boys, so not
Oh,
James
okay.
Franco, his brother.
Okay, gotcha. And they've had some controversy too. So I
Yeah.
think in a lot of cases they're not getting the press they normally get because of some of the how do you say it, James's controversy, and it kind of has leaked over to his brother. But I did see it. So remind us of the number and the name. I know it's together, and that's number. Was that number?
Number 7 is Together.
Together,
And I
number
think the
7.
with his name, but it's Franco. Is not,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not James. It's the brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, and the controversy around this one, I believe that there was a lawsuit filed also saying that this one was a ripoff of something else. I
That's
do
it.
recall that. Yeah.
That's it.
There's a lawsuit.
There was a lawsuit about a copyright lawsuit.
Right, right,
Yep.
right.
Got-
And if it was a ripoff, I hate that, and I hope that whomever was ripped off gets their due. I don't know what the outcome of the lawsuit is. I just know that I really enjoyed this movie.
Well, they were the better ripoff.
I haven't seen
Together
what
was the better ripoff.
Yeah, I haven't seen what was
We'll
ripped
see.
off, but I really enjoyed it Together. And going back to what you were saying about not having watched a lot of horror this year, and that well, I don't want to say the administration, but the politics is a horror in and of itself. Because I know we're not talking politics here, but I do want to say that this was a fabulous year for horror. And you know that I keep saying every year that I come on that I know when horror is trending, and I've been saying for the last few years, it's hot, 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 and it is dominating at the box office. I think that's what's keeping movies alive right now is horror, and we're having more and more horror films and horror conventions, film festivals, and horror conventions popping up, and I'm trying to go to all of them that I can because it's beautiful time for horror.
I agree. What you got next?
All right, number 6 is a film that I saw at the beginning of the year. And my list is a little out because I just kind of wrote them all out, so I might have my numbers off. But number 6 should be on my list, Companion. Companion is one that when I was going back trying to think, which horror films did I see this year? This one was so early in the year that I almost forgot it. But it's great. And I saw this one as a sight unseen it's one of those AMC's where it's like you pay $5 and you go and you have no idea what you're gonna watch. Well, I love films enough that I'm willing to go and see. I don't even care, surprise me. And I was so excited that it was Companion because it was great. Companion is one that I feel is very relevant to today and a lot of the gender wars that's going on. Okay, there's a lot. I don't know if you're, in tune to what's happening with social media, and it seems to be us versus them and a whole lot. And rightfully so, 'cause there's a lot of mess going on.
Yeah.
But I believe that this is very relevant, especially with AI and robots also being a big thing with technology. So we have this couple that you kind of know that that's the spoiler part, that there is a robot involved, but you see how things happen, how the robot is programmed, and what happens, how the man still tries to control the robot.
It's very misogynistic. These guys and these robots, they're using the robots for their misogyny. I've seen it.
Okay.
So this is the one I've seen, but you're absolutely right. But I'm not going to spoil it. But
Okay.
I agree with you. It is I don't want to give it away. I'm gonna let you go ahead because I'll give it away. I loved it.
It's really hard for me to talk about them when I love them because I want to talk about what I loved about it, and a part of that is kind of spoilery. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because let me say this about this, and I'm with you because the more you talk about the misogyny, it leads to the ending. You know what I mean? And quite frankly, just like you went into it, Millennial Nick, who produces, the podcast, He told me, you need to watch this. You need to watch this. And I went into it blind, and I tell you, I was pleasantly surprised at how good it was, because I did not expect that. Because you see them and you think they're all the same, and this one is not.
That's right. And because I have watched a lot of robot AI type films, I saw Megan 2.0.
Yep.
And it doesn't make my list, but it was around the same time. You think you've seen everything having to do with AI and robots, and here's something that's kind of fresh and new and relevant to today. So I really enjoyed that.
Good pick. Good pick. I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Okay.
Good.
What you got next?
All right. So we're at number 5, and you told me to let you know when we get to number 5.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead and finish up number 5. We'll do a quick recap, midway point.
Okay. Number 5 is The Gorge. I bet you I surprised you with that one, didn't I?
No, I mean Apple, correct?
Yes.
I thought that was very good. That's a good choice. I agree.
Yes. The Gorge, I've watched a couple of times. I enjoyed it. Again, this is perfect for sex and horror in the fact that we have love. We have a love element here that's happening, and you don't know it until like you're like I you think you're watching something, and it is that, because you have the creatures, you have the monsters, we've got zombies in some sort, and I love zombie films and stories, so there's some elements of the undead and creatures and monsters, but then we have this beautiful love story that's going on in the background. This man, he is risking it all to get to the other side. But before he does that, he goes and grabs some flowers. If he wanted to, he would. He's thinking, I still want to impress her. He's going over there. He's risking it all, but he's going to bring some flowers still. And then later on, when it came down to it, she's willing to fight. She's got the guns, and she comes blazing. She saves his life. This is a beautiful love story. And at the same time, we have the monsters and everything that's happening. I hope they do a part 2 of this. This better be a part 2. Listen, I know you're going to appreciate this, Tommy. Do you know who the guys are behind this film?
Who's behind it?
Scott Derrickson. We got that same crew from Sinister. This is the Sinister
Oh,
crew. This is the Sinister
Sinister is
crew.
killer.
Yes, we have what's his name? Because I did a panel with him years ago. I'm drawing a blank because I didn't even make.
This
notes.
isn't a Bloom. Is this Bloomhouse, by the way? Because I know Bloomhouse was Sinister. They started off with Bloomhouse, the same guys who did Sinister, but I'm not sure if they still are. So, but no big deal. That's not a big deal. Let me just say this about that movie. I saw the previews. I saw the artwork, the posters, everything that Apple does. Well, first of all, let me say this. Apple doesn't do a good job promoting its movies, with the exception of what they did for Brad Pitt with F1. They just kind of put them out there, and, you get them on your app if you're an Apple user, and, and then they show up, and then, you'll either go or you won't go, but they don't really push. I didn't know what this was going to be about at all. Yes. Until I watched it. And I think a lot of people felt that way. I think a lot of people still do feel this way. They don't know what it's about. But go ahead.
Agreed. And this is why I keep talking about this one. When it first came out, I kept talking about it. I was doing videos about it because I was like, y'all, please watch this. And because I want to make sure we have another one, but I want people to enjoy it. The name I was thinking of was C. Robert Cargill. I was with him on a panel years ago at Comic Palooza. But C. Robert Cargill, same dudes, and I won't take the time to figure out if this still Blumhouse. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Yeah, I was more, and I was just saying when Apple doesn't really do a good job promoting its films. I mean, and a lot of their films, either make it or break it based on, in my opinion, just Apple users and word of mouth, push it.
Yeah.
They don't do a lot of marketing, but I do when I see it. I saw this and I, just on a whim, nothing else to watch. I flipped it on and I said, "Wow!"
This is
didn't even pause it.
This one could have had a cinematic release. It really was
Agreed.
good enough.
Agreed.
It could have went straight to the box office. And Miles Teller, Anya Taylor-Joy. Those are the strong leads in the beginning of this, and I think that what they bring to it is beautiful as well. But The problem with this one is we love it because we love horror, right? The problem I saw is some people were saying they could not get past the horror. Like the love part was great, but they couldn't because of the monsters, or they loved the horror element, but they didn't give a doggone about the love element. And that is what I find for marketing for my books. You know, it's like you can love the darkness but not love the erotic, or you can love the erotic and not love the darkness. But that is what I loved about it. These are these kinds of movies is why I know that there's a fan base for what I do, because this is it. The Gorge. I want to see more like this.
Well, this movie reminds me. If you look at what is it? The movie it just came out. Oh, okay. The Alien, Alien Earth, those types of movies. You got the evil corporation. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to give too many details about this movie, but that's part of it. The evil corporation, just like the Umbrella Corporation. What was I forgot the name of that one.
Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. Well, no, it was the movie that's a video. It's a video game turned into a movie, and the corporation that's evil. It's it's a zombie movie. But bottom line is, the Gorge. Ultimately, the bottom line is there's an evil corporation involved in this, which I think there is going to be a part 2 because of that. Because they didn't do away with the corporation. Corporation didn't end. Correct?
The governments were a part of this too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And experimentation, all that. So.
Are you talking about 28 years later, that franchise?
Well, that has it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
That has part of it too, but it'll hit me in a minute. It normally does, but the whole concept of that's why I really like The Gorge too. And I'm not going to go into detail, but definitely. And that's on Apple. That is still on Apple, so you can definitely check that out. All right, hey, real quick, let's go through 10 through 5 real quick. Yeah, number 10 was.
Okay. Now, my numbers are a little different.
That's okay. Yeah. You started off with 10.
Number 10 was Him.
Your number 9.
Number 9 was Clown in a Cornfield.
And your number 8.
Number 8 was Until Dawn.
Number 7.
Number 7 was Together.
And 6.
Number 6 was Companion.
And we just finished up with number 5, which was The Gorge.
5, Gorge.
All right, so now we're beyond that. We're hitting the last 4, and I know these going to be stellar, spicy, because I've been out of it. I've been out of it all year. So go ahead. What you got at number 4?
Now I'm gonna go ahead and go with the one that I know you had to have watched. You better have, because I know you are a Conjuring fan. Don't you tell me you have not seen The Conjuring Last Rites.
See why you put me on the spot? 'Cause
I know better. I was like,
look,
I know he had to have seen this one.
It was on the list when you sent me the text and said, "Hey, you got to see this." I was headed out the door, and then something came up.
Oh, okay.
So I have not seen it yet, but I will see it before Halloween. I promise.
Okay. Well, I have been getting a lot of people who, I want to say, not everybody thinks this was great. And I don't know what the problem is, to be honest. I don't know what you could do to make everybody love a film. Everybody's not going to love it. But The Conjuring Last Rites, you have to know what you're getting into at this point. We've been at this for years. This is 10 years in the making. Come on. What is not to love? I know you didn't just start out watching The Conjuring one day and be like, oh, this is not good. I should have, they should have did more. I don't understand. I was expecting more. And I want to be like, goodbye.
As much as I like the films, I like the series, number 1 is still my favorite. And I think it's because number 1 was simplistic scares. And people have seen the first one before. The whole crawl space scene in the dark, which was scary as heck. There's just so much about it. So tell us what makes this one maybe on the level, or if it is on the level of the early one, that first.
Okay. That's a good question, because that's exactly where I want to start. because right after I watched this one, my kids and I, we went back and watched the first one because it's been, I don't know, 10 years since I saw the first one, and I've seen a bunch, all of them, the nuns and Annabelle's, but let me go back and watch the first one. So they tied a lot in, okay, like even some of the scenes are almost identical, but I feel like they have to do that just in case there are some people that haven't watched the previous films. You know what I mean? Like if this is your introduction into The Conjuring, then you need to know what has happened. So it's like, oh, my nose, what's happening? So you need to
Don't
know.
conjure up nothing now.
It's okay to have some of it because it's based on real life, because there are really the Warrens who are alive, and because these things were based on events that actually happened. You are going to show some of the same type of things. What makes this better to me hinges on the fact that at the very end they're doing what I loved about The Nun, where there are multiple things happening at once, and that just increases the horror effect. So after we have the reveal and the things that are happening, there are multiple villains, if you will. There are multiple monsters. There's an increase. So I always say my version of this is it's up in the ante. So we don't just have, like, there is at one point, and since you haven't watched it, I don't want to spoil it because I know this is your jam. I know The Conjuring is your jam. But there is this happening, this happening, this happening at the same time. And there is a crescendo of horror events until we get to the end. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
that's up in the ante to me. That's what I loved about it, because we don't just have one supernatural event happening. We have multiple happening at once before we come back down. So they're bringing us up. The music, you know how you got the music revving everything up. And it's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And boom. That's what I loved about this film. Now, yes, there is the same formula that we saw in The Conjuring 1, because I did go back and watch it, and we see a lot of the same things happening. But this at the end just nails it all in. And that's why I think it's the best.
Well, one of the things, and this is the last one. Am I correct? Okay,
Yes.
and I can see that because these stars are doing other things,
Yes.
and I can see them not.
There's going to be another Insidious, for instance.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because the same guy from this is in Insidious. So I'm definitely. It's not one that I intentionally have avoided. I want to see it because I always go back to the first, even though I've seen all the ones in between. So you telling me that there's that connection and that room where all the archival those items from everything they've done, I knew it was eventually going to come back because
Yeah.
how flippantly they kind of go in the room and invite people into the room. I'm like, man, y'all are leaving this place wide open for something to come back. So I can
Yeah.
imagine what it would be in a film like this, or how it would be portrayed. So I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to see it. Okay, so this, go
There's
ahead, go ahead.
let me just say there's a part here that's just really 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 dumb to me, though. And again, let me say that dumb, if we would not have a genre of a horror genre if people didn't do dumb stuff. Now, if you are pregnant, you do not go in to cast out spirits. You do not go in for paranormal investigation. So had that not happened, I feel like a lot of the other stuff that happened wouldn't have. And I don't understand why they did that in real life. Why would you do that? Don't do that. For anybody watching, if you're pregnant, go and put some spa music on, kick your feet up, and create the most balanced surroundings that you can. You, Tommy, when we talk about childbirth and labor, like this is always a sore area for me. I absolutely not. So they were wrong for that. But I will say also, Tommy, I know you know about a lot of the real life things that are happening with that Annabelle doll going on tour.
Oh yes,
And
recently.
leading up to the Conjuring, like, so there was just built-in marketing. Now we got Matt Wright, the comedian whom I went to see here at the Toyota Center. He and his partner, or buddy, I don't want to say it, not like life partner, but friend, business partner. They bought the home from the Amityville Horror and the Warrens' home, and they got the museum with all these things in there. So they are the guardians of the Annabelle doll now. The handler, Daniel Rivera, passed away while it was on tour, while the doll was on tour. There is so much involved with this film.
The place burned down.
Yeah, right.
One of the
While
places, I forgot, while the Annabelle doll was on tour. Yeah. Wow.
all kinds
Yeah.
of crazy stuff, but I feel like it was kind of built-in marketing, and I'm not using that as to make light of the deaths and the real incidents that happened. I'm just saying that there's something that I feel like is kind of grown from the presence of this film and from the doll being on tour and all that. So I would definitely check it out.
Okay, cool. So that's number 4. And what's
Yeah.
The Conjuring? And
The
like was
Conjuring, number 4. The Conjuring Last Rites.
okay. What you got at number 3?
All right, number 3, coming in piping hot. Let's do The Final Destination, Bloodlines. Okay, Final
I am with
Destination.
you.
I love Jeffrey Reddick. We had him on our podcast, season 1, episode 9, I believe. And then just a couple weeks ago, we saw him and met him and talked to him at Spooky Spectacle in Lake Granbury. Fabulous guy. He's the creator of the franchise and the one that the characters from the Bloodlines are based on. So, Final Destination is the franchise in of itself is one of my favorites. It's because it starts with a question that I ask myself all the time, like, what if? It's one of those what if. What if this had happened? What if this had happened? And what if this hadn't happened? So for him, it started with someone escaping death, but were they supposed to die in that accident? When that flight went down and they got out at the last minute, what would happen if death felt cheated and came after them later? From the very first film, we had the logs. Everybody in that generation knows you don't ride behind a truck carrying logs. There was
Nope.
one coming in my neighborhood the other day. Absolutely not. Nope. You all go ahead on. I'll wait here until you go. And so this Bloodlines, okay, first off, we have Tony Todd. This is his film, his last film, and he's basically given us a goodbye. He's given us a farewell. He knew he had cancer and he was passing. It was beautiful to see his farewell. But I love the franchise because they're going to give us some crazy, outlandish scenarios. It may not happen in real life, but it's like a domino effect. It's like, it's an experiment where you see something happen, and it just kind of triggers. Like one little coin dropping at the wrong second can set off a chain of events that just takes everybody down. But I don't know if you've seen it yet because people.
I have.
You have, okay. So every year there is at least one scene from Final Destination that sticks out with you, and this one for me is that X-ray machine. Not the X-ray, the
I know what's the MRI. What is it? But it's a
not
big
X-ray.
magnet. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
The EKG. No,
EK
not the,
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about, though. Exactly. Yes.
okay. They're going through that. That was the scene. That was the death scene on this one that stands out to me. But I love the creative kills on here. People are going to get it. They are going to get it bad in the Final Destination movies, and I am here for it. But also, death is the main character. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a creature. It's not a monster. There is just an entity that nobody sees, but everybody feels. And it's just lurking in the background. Nobody knows when it's their turn to go, but everybody is going to get it. And hopefully you don't get it in the worst way. But I love it.
And I'll tell you, it's tough it's really tough because there's so many of them. In my opinion, because when I first heard it was coming, I would, oh boy, here we go again. It's just like the Jason, Friday the 13th and the Freddy movies, how they kept going on and on. But actually, the way they did this makes sense. And actually, I think it opens up the door for a continuation of the franchise. Because I thought it was dead. I thought I hate to say it was dead, but I thought it was done. And this really opens up the franchise for new episodes. So, actually, I thought it was well done. I thought it was creative. and I'm hopefully I'm hopeful that it continues. Really, I want to see more of it after this.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, and every time they put out Final Destination, I'm gonna be there. I
Yeah.
just really enjoy these films, and I can't stop talking about it. Like I'm always I went to eat by myself at a restaurant for lunch one day, and when I was sitting in there, I heard a crash on the other side, and I was like, "What's happening?" And the waiter had dropped glass,
Yeah.
and he was picking it up, and I immediately thought about the Final Destination movie. Like, what about the ice? Like, there's the glass and the ice down there.
Let me tell you, every time I'm on a ladder outside working on something, holding a drill,
Yes, and
I'm
now,
thinking Final Destination. I'm thinking, let
yeah,
me clear everything away, so
yeah,
we
and
won't create any of that.
and new for me, it was an MRI machine. It was the
Okay,
MRI.
MRI. Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
the kind of thing that comes to me now. But now, when I see the garbage trucks going by, I'm like,
Oh my God.
oh my,
It's well done. It's creative because I didn't know they could. I didn't know they could do much more with that franchise, but I do see it continuing. All
and
right, so
welcome
that's number
to
three,
yeah.
and I will admit that that's one I've seen, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. All right, what you got number two?
All right, number two, and we're getting to the last two. We're getting to the last two, and I
Mm-hmm.
feel like these two belong here. Okay, if you've seen these, they better be on your list. Okay, I know, and I get hyper, I get excited, I'm excited, right? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope I'm not too much for everybody, but yo, these two get me excited. These get me excited. Number two coming in hot is weapons, weapons,
Let
baby,
me tell
weapons.
you. Let me tell you. I have not seen it, but let me tell you. Let me say this. This is the one I kick myself weekly for not seeing. But as we tape this, it's coming to HBO Max. By the time it's out, it's coming to HBO Max before Halloween. So it'll be out before Halloween. So go ahead. I'm glad you're talking about it because this is the one that's going to be on HBO Max, which I am pleasantly not surprised. I am happy that it's coming to HBO Max. But go ahead. Number two, weapons.
All right, weapons. I mean, what can I say about it? We've talked about this for what you said, 7, 8 years now. Okay,
Yep.
listen. When it comes to children and the elderly, there is nothing scarier in films. When you want to do horror and you want to scare some people, put some children in it and put them in danger, or make them the villain,
Yep.
endanger the villain. And the same with the elderly. Put them in a victim situation or make them the villain, and you will have a great horror film because
Can
they're
I say
both
this before you go
vulnerable.
on? I don't know if you've ever seen the TV series on CBS, Evil. Okay.
I have the first season.
The first season. The reason that show scared me and bothered me so much was the kids. The kids were always messing with some dumb shit. They were always in peril. Do you remember? Because the mom would be gone, the grandma would be off doing something evil. So it was like the kids were always conjuring up stuff
Mhm.
on VR that was out to get. It was like so. So I totally agree with you. When kids are in peril, elderly's in peril, seeing stuff that nobody else sees, or they're evil. It's
Mhm.
it's a tough movie. But go ahead, tell us more. But again, this is going to be out by the time. Well, we release this in a day or so. It's going to be out during this period. So go ahead.
Yeah, what weapons? Because there's some vulnerability here, but then there's also a surprise. So they're very vulnerable because they're elderly or young and feeble, but then also they make great villains um, because it's a surprise usually when they're in the villain. That's why Sinister is so magnetic
Whew.
when you really realize who the villains are. You know what I'm saying? So here with weapons, we have a lot of, there's some suspense. It kind of builds up and builds up. Then there are so many different things that kind of happen. Like I went into it not knowing what it was about, and then I was so kind of surprised. Like it took me on this journey, like this going this way 1 minute, and then it kind of switches up, and oh, this is what we're doing. Okay, and then it switches up. But it's so satisfying how it ends as well. There will be a sequel to this. They're already talking about that, so that's good to know. Josh Brolin, he is doing a fabulous job in this, and we you know that Thanos, like he is always a powerhouse in whatever character he is
Yep.
bringing. But we also have this. I'll just say, I don't want to spoil it. There is another character that is the face of weapons, I believe, that has some really strong potential there because it's kind of an unexpected type character in the way that she is kind of horrific, but also um, she's horrific, but also very intriguing. Like, I really want to know more about this. How? Because she's powerful, but also not. Like she's very, very weak, but also very, very powerful, and those go hand in hand. It's it is it's different. I did not know what to expect, and I loved it every second of it. There are sometimes I did get jumped, scared a few times. There were some times where I had I when you realize what the weapon is, that's when you realize how brilliant the film is. I'll put it that way.
Got you. Well, I will say this again, letting people know as we tape this, it'll come out a little early before the 24th, but it is out the 24th on HBO Max. So if you have access to HBO Max, well, before Halloween, because hopefully you'll have the opportunity to watch all these films if you're looking for movies up until, because we're in the Halloween season, but even afterward, going forward, these are just good films to watch all around. I mean, just
Yes.
year round. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So that's number two, Weapons, which definitely, that's probably the one of the most talked about movies this year. I
Yes.
agree with you. Big surprise, number one at the box office, continued. Yeah,
Yeah.
continuous, probably a couple of weeks. Yep.
I was at Houston Horror Film Fest when it came out, and by the time I got out, I had like 3 or 4 messages from people saying, "Go watch Weapons, go watch Weapons." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Oh my God, let me finish this festival first, and I'll be there."
Yeah.
And I did go immediately, and I was. This is one of them that's very interesting. How you know how people will hype up, hype up, hype up something. It's like, oh, it can't be that good. No, it is.
Good. Good stuff. All right. This is your biggie for 2025.
All right.
Number one. What you got for number one? Go ahead. I'll let you do the build up. You do
All
it.
right, number one, I've seen 4 times. I've seen it four
Wow.
times, 4 times, four
Oh,
times.
I already
I
know what this is. I'm
You
looking.
already know.
Why
You
did I
already know.
ask?
You already know. And there are so many reasons why it's number one and why I've watched it the first time. This is one of those films that I was going to see anyway. I've been talking about, we probably talked about this film last year because just the hype knowing it was coming out. We have Michael B. Jordan. We got Ryan Coogler in the background, okay, putting this thing together. We've already seen them before. We have seen the kind of work they put out. We already know it's going to be good. On top of that, there are vampires. What? You know I'm there. I'm queen, okay? The Narcoleptic Vampire series, I stay in a vampire frame of mind. I knew I was going to go watch this. There was no doubt about it.
Do
I
you
knew
remember when I first saw the trailer and I sent you the trailer and I said, "Oh no." I said this looks good.
absolutely, and it did not disappoint. What I was not, and I, okay, look, even O'Connell. I'm so glad to see him getting his due. He's been that dude all the way back since Skins, the UK version. This dude, he belongs. Jack O'Connell, he belongs in the films. Okay, he is great, and so the villains and the protagonists are
Now,
all
O'Connell
wonderful.
is the Irishman
Yes, yes,
leader, and I'll leave it at
yes.
that because I don't want to give away too much. But he's the leader the
Hmm.
of the evil. But I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
What I did not expect, Tommy, and I need a I need a few minutes with this film,
Well, I'm
okay?
gonna let you go. You know your time limit.
No, no, no. I got 5 minutes. It's 5, 5, 5. I got 5 here, but I need a few minutes to talk about this one, okay? So with this film, um, okay. So what I did not expect was how powerful the music element was going to be. We go into the history of music and how impactful it is, and I watched it on the first time just for enjoyment, and it was already thinking I was already thinking about it from a creative standpoint. and how they want your stories. Give me your story, give me your creativity. So I'm thinking about it and I'm connecting with it on that level. Yes, I'm a creative. They want my stories. They trying to steal my stories. They want my soul, you know? And then I go back and I watch it another time and I'm thinking about from a vampire, kind of trying to save them because we're in the deep south here and they are all going to die the next morning because the Klan is coming back. They're planning to kill them. But this Irish vampire is coming in and he's like, I'm here to save y'all. Let's join up. It's all love. This vampire is here to give them life eternal, give them power. And is he really is he really the villain? There's so many different layers to this, and because I've watched it 4 times, I've been able to see it from so many different character perspectives. It's beautiful. It's so well done. When I hear that, I sat up in my seat when we got to that big music scene. It took them a few days to film that scene. I sat up in my seat like I was having an experience.
When they were merging all the different formats and all the different genres. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
next time I saw it, I recorded that part. I knew exactly where it was coming just so I could replay it again and again and again. It's transcendent. The particular music there. I went to Nashville last week and I went to the African American Music History Museum. And as I was going through the jazz and the blues and all that, it goes hand in hand with the movements of the black community from pre-slavery to slavery to Jim Crow, and you can see the evolution of music and the impact it has played in the community. It's just a beautiful film. On top of it being horror, there is the horror really the vampires, or is the horror the deep south and the Klan and the racism and everything that's happened. There's so much going on with this film. It is so beautiful, and it takes us through a whole process of it takes us through a process of deliverance, I want to
Hmm.
say,
Okay.
because the ones who survive and are thriving, are they human?
Hmm.
No, they're not. They
Yeah.
don't. Nobody gets out. Nobody gets out alive. Well, actually, let me take that back. There is one that does, but it was because
Yeah.
of a deal he made, really.
Hmm.
And
Well, I'm going to say I'm not surprised at all. It's number one. That's
oh, I didn't
Sinners.
even say the name of it.
You go ahead, Sinners. Michael B.
No.
Jordan. But let me say, and I'm not going to give it away, but most people have seen it because it's been on HBO, it's been on Max. There's got to be a sequel to this, and with Coogler being involved in it, he knows how to build a franchise because he did it with Panther. It is just so. I agree with you. It is so well done. It. I think a lot of people went into it not expecting much and walked out of it in awe. This and the way it ends. Let me say this, and I told people after I saw it the first time, you really have to sit and wait until the lights come on in the theater, because of Coogler's done Marvel, so you got the mid credit, pre
That's
credit,
right. Yeah.
post credit. It lets you know immediately, in my opinion, that there's got to be a sequel to this, and I think it's going to be a very musical sequel, just based on the fact of I hate to even say, but you know how it ends in
Yeah.
the bar and the way they're dressed. I just
Yeah.
think there's going to be a musical element to it. The
Yeah.
sequel. Go ahead. I'll let you rep because I know I got to respect your time on this. What more you got to say about Sinners in terms of that?
I mean, that's it. Sinners is a transcendent movie, and it's so beautiful. It's one of those that I really wish I could have worked on. You know what I'm saying? This
Yeah.
is one of those. It's like this is magnificent, and it's the
Mm,
kind of work that I want to be known for. And so I kind of see myself in the work, but also kind of jealous, like, oh,
yeah.
God, put me in,
Because I know
coach.
how much you love vampires. That's your thing. That's you built your franchise. You built everything that is Dicey Grinner on the narcoleptic vampire. So yeah, without a doubt. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, I know time wise, what you got time for? You got time for a quick? You had any honorable mentions, and then we can wrap. or is that gonna do it for me?
No, I have one honorable mention. And
Go ahead.
you're not expecting it. You're not expecting it because it's actually a 2024 movie, but I didn't watch it until this year.
Okay.
Oddity. Oddity.
Hmm.
It is a film that I need more people to know about. It is a foreign film, I believe, but I watched this uh, mainly and realized that I was learning something. I was learning about tempo in horror because I mean I write other stuff other than the Narcoleptic Vampire series and I
Yep.
and the horror, but I sometimes I'm getting something just for the purpose of learning. And this one I watched here in my house. I think it may have been on Hulu. I'm not sure, but I jumped. Like I watch a lot of horror, and not much of it makes me jump because I know the tempo. I know boom, boom, boom. There's your jump scare. Boom, boom, boom. There's your jump scare. I know when it's coming. This one is a boom, 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 boom. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Like it catches you off guard. And I think that's brilliant. That is a way. This is why I love watching horror from the perspective of other cultures and other countries because they do things differently. I know what I'm gonna get when I watch Korean horror. It's gonna be terrifying, because it's fast, it's fast, it's fast. I know what I'm gonna get when I'm watching Japanese horror because they get really gruesome and bloody. I know what you know what I mean? Like every culture or country does it differently. And I can't remember if this was Polish or German, to be honest. I can't remember where it came from. But it was quiet. It was so quiet. Like, you know how most of it is a build up with the music and you can kind of tell? That's why I know how the tempo is going. I know, oh, there's the jump scare. So I'm not afraid. This got me because there were so many times when I know it's coming because it's been so still and so quiet. And then, ooh, gotcha.
Yeah. I know you got to run, but I will ask you because I know
Yeah.
the name. Is this the one on the farm with farm life, like rural?
It is. It's kind of rural, but it takes place in a really dark house.
Okay.
It's or stone house. Like everything is so stoned, and it's like don't open the door, don't open the door. And it starts with this it starts with a scene where it's like oh my god what just happened, but that was terrifying, but I don't even know what I watched. I don't know what happened. I just know that you there's a moral dilemma happening here, and that's what zombie films are really good for. This is not a zombie film, but really good about the moral dilemma. Should you open the door and save this person because you know them, or should you keep the door closed and save yourself and sacrifice them? But you don't know. Are you being played right now?
I'm
or
gonna say this is the one with the wife and the husband is a doctor or works at a clinic. I remember that one.
I think so.
This is
I
the
think
one,
so.
and someone comes to the door. If you see it, you'll see
Yes.
it in the preview, and
Yes.
and kind of slides it open and
Yes,
says
that's the
something to
one.
the woman.
That's
Gotcha.
the one.
Oddity is definitely one to watch because
Yes.
of the way it goes, and it's a surprise. Yeah, it's
Yes.
definitely one to watch. All right, I know I'm at your time limit, but again, I got to say thank you so much, Spicy
Absolutely.
Dicey, out in Houston doing her thing, her top 10, and I'm just going to have the list. You don't have to go down the list. We'll have the list definitely in social media and of course in the body of the podcast. But go back and watch it again. Always the best stuff, and you have covered the best without a doubt. This is the best of the year. I don't see you missing anything. Well, you already gave Sinners number one. That's all. Done. Spicy
Yes.
Dicey. Thank you again. I really appreciate you taking the time. Again, this is year number 8. So let's finish. Let's get to 10.
Yes. Let's do it.
All right. All
Every
right.
year.
All right, take care again. Hey, y'all, this is the G podcast. Welcome. Again, we typically do politics, but we drop this in. Also, kind of sharing the space with what you watch in Tommy B, because I need people to go there and subscribe. So it's a shared podcast. So thank you so much again, Spicy Dicey. Great stuff. And y'all have a safe, if you're watching this before Halloween, have a safe Halloween. Take care.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.